story.
Alabama. I'll briefly talk about this. Alabama hospital puts a pause on IVF in wake of the Alabama Supreme Court's ruling, saying that frozen embryos are children.
They're considered a life.
So I wanted to bring this up because I wanted people to understand that Roe versus Wade or any of the talk about abortion, it's not about abortion. It's about reproductive rights, which affects IVF. It affects you getting injections. It affects that you have an embryos input inside of you. And all of that. It's not just one thing, which is abortion.
And even eggs.
All of that is under reproduction. Freezing your eggs. All of that falls.
Somebody destroys your eggs.
All of that falls under that law. Wow. So what happened here is on the local level, some lady or somebody walked into a fertility clinic and went into the area that has the embryos, which are ready to be inserted into the moms. And they picked them up and dropped them.
Okay.
And they were messed up.
They were destroyed. Okay.
They were destroyed. So the people who are like, these are our embryos, sued.
Their chance for, having child.
I'm not only suing the clinic, the hospital, because where's your security at? But I'm suing the person who picked them up for manslaughter.
Wow.
And the lower court
was there a reason why that person was in that place?
They weren't supposed to be in there. We don't know yet why they were in there.
Okay, so they're investigating.
The lower Alabama court said, I understand that you lost these embryos, but they're not human. So you can't sue the person for manslaughter and you can't sue the hospital for murder and all this other stuff. They appealed. I think it's 3 couples. They appealed. Supreme Court.
In that state.
Okay. The Alabama Supreme Court said you most definitely can sue. They overruled the lower court and said not only can you sue, but the embryos are human.
So they're considering them
as
according
human
to their law of her winning. Wow.
Remember, in Alabama, you can't get an abortion because the fetus is considered human.
Right, even though it's inside you.
So now they saying even outside of you, the embryo is still human.
So I'm wondering.
See, now here we go. Now, Alabama's largest hospital, because of this, said, we putting a pause on all IVF. Yeah. We're not doing no more. No. Because if I drop something or if something happens, you're going to put me in jail for murder?
I can go to jail.
For how I handle an embryo? And the doctor can be sued. Yeah. If you're saying that's a human being, now you have to treat a little different now going forward.
It's going to be harder for women who want IVF.
Yep.
They probably going to have a harder time doing it.
So
nobody's
now
going to want to touch it.
They asked Nikki Haley about this.
What'd she say?
Now, Nikki Haley said, she says,
because she's pro-life.
She's pro-life.
With certain limitations. Right?
No. She's pro-life, no restrictions, but she said in order to work with the Democrats, I'll give some restrictions.
That's what I'm saying. She's doing it to work across the board.
Yes, because she's saying it's a very sensitive topic. It's not just cut and dry. Exactly. And I can't put what I believe on everybody. I got to meet you in the middle somewhere with law.
Yeah.
So in this particular case, Nikki Haley is saying that she believes the embryos are human. Okay? And she believes that was that's you getting rid of a human being when they person got rid of it.
Okay, so help me understand. An embryo is
when they take the sperm and the egg and put it together, but it's still in a petri dish.
They're doing it manually.
Yes, but it's still in a petri dish.
Bringing it together, that sperm and that egg meeting.
And it's in a petri dish.
Okay, got it.
Then they take that and insert it into the mom.
Okay.
Okay, and then it grows into a baby. Okay. If your body takes it.
Okay.
But until that point, you don't know if your body gonna take it. It's just in the petri dish.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You can abort or what? I mean, you can have not abort. I'm sorry.
Your body won't take it.
What's the other
miscarriage.
one? Miscarriage.
So she says she believes that it is a human being.
Because that seed, that sperm, and that egg.
If you are a person that is pro-life because of Christianity, you believe what the Bible says, I knew you before you was in your mother's womb, which is an embryo. I knew you before you was in your mother's womb. Okay? That's the same thing.
Okay.
She don't have to be in the womb for me to say that I already knew who you was.
Right.
Okay. So if you pro-life, it would make sense for you to believe that the embryo is a human being.
My only concern, though, is if what happened in the state of Alabama at the highest court, Supreme Court, you can look at it two ways. They're saying
finish what Nikki said, but
they're saying it is life. But my concern now, you got even doctors, even with the situation with abortions, even with those exceptions, nobody wants to touch nobody because they don't want to be.
If you're in a state that's like that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Right.
In that state alone, you even said it earlier, doctors, whoever may pull back from even dealing with embryos. They may not even want to touch it.
Right. So let's keep going.
So
what Nikki Haley
and that's going to hurt a lot of women.
Right. So what Nikki Haley is saying is, even though she believes that that is a human.
What did you do?
Even though she believes that that is a human, she believes that she wants to treat it the same way she wants to do abortion. It's not a cut and dry blanket statement. That you have to be able to say there's nuances in there somewhere. So she wants to treat it. You can ready to say something?
I wanted to say something, but you let me know when I can say it.
Go ahead.
Okay, what I'm saying is that they should bring in the exceptions. Even though I don't believe in getting rid of babies and all that. But I also don't believe in a young lady 10 years and 9 years old.
Right, having a baby.
Raped by who knows who.
Right.
And making her have a baby.
Okay. So you believe in that's what Nikki Haley's saying.
The exceptions.
Whether you believe in it or not.
A mother's health may be in jeopardy. A young child may be violated. It's exceptions.
So she's saying the same way
exceptions for
abortion. The same way with abortion, she believes the same thing with this embryo situation.
What is it that she's believing with the embryo?
I'm thinking she's probably going to have to go with, is there stages to it, or do you treat it like
when does it become a life where a person who destroys it is now accused of manslaughter?
She didn't give any more definition. I think this is one of those things that we're going to hear about because there's no clear-cut thing. Now, the difference, but I will say this, the difference between Nikki Haley and Comover is he's a moron. He won't even be able to answer that. Ask him about that instead of those gold ugly shoes. He don't
normally answer things straight off anyway.
No, I'm saying
he'll probably refer to somebody.
But
else.
I'm saying once it's him,
he has no thought of his own.
Once it's him and old man Biden, ask those type of questions in the debate.
They may not even have one.
Thank you.
But
he don't even want to debate Biden, he said.
No, he don't. The couple that won the lawsuit, how far along was theirs?
I don't know. I don't know anything about embryo, how long the things stay in there.
When they do the meeting of them and in a little tube or whatever container or however they're doing it, like Nikki is saying, a time frame.
Right.
Because some people feel once you put them together,
they already a human. Because then how
some
far
people would debate they're not a human until you hear heartbeat.
But then how far do you go? Because in my opinion, if you say the embryo is a human, sperm is human.
Yeah.
And there's some Christian churches that don't believe in wasting sperm.
Yeah.
If you just masturbate or whatever, they believe that's a sin.
Yeah.
Because that's sperm, that's life. And you just spatting it all out everywhere.
There's some Old Testament story that the man that did it on a tree.
Yeah.
And God got him for that.
So here we go.
Wow.
Alabama. It'll probably be other states that will use this and say, we want that in our state too. Probably Mississippi, probably Georgia, probably Florida. All of those states are probably going to say, we want the same thing. If that Supreme Court ruled that way in Alabama, we want the same thing here.
But like I said, I feel that that's going to be a problem for the medical profession. they may sit in an office and make a decision. We're not doing embryos
in that state, maybe.
And that's
now you have
if it goes state to state to state.
Well, now you have a question. It's
going to make it hard for mothers to even go somewhere where a state may say, yeah, we do it here.
Now you're going to have to say, that goes back to, I believe this is going to be on the forefront of Biden versus Trump, because I believe that reproductive rights is going to be on Biden's list of what he doesn't want to go across national. He doesn't want what happened in Alabama to be in every state. And I'm going to assume, even though Trump doesn't he believes in abortion, even though he says he doesn't. Everybody who's his friend says he does. Mm-hmm. But because his base doesn't, he has to say he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He's going to be on the other side saying it should be national. So we'll see. So I thought that was interesting.
That is.
To see what happens in that case.